Good morning, everybody. It is Rose and Ben on the radio Rodeo Roundup. And finally, we have a rodeo connection. Not this morning, not this morning. Next week on Rose and Ben, Jared Adler will be our guest. He's a rodeo guy, he knows about rodeos. We'll also be talking in the next little while to the guys and gals up in South Barber. Their big rodeo and fair is coming up. You remember how they do that is they do a ranch rodeo to kick the weekend off. And that's this year will be on the 23rd of July. And then they do the fair. Now, where we're going to join them is on Thursday night. Let's see, if the 23rd is the ranch rodeo. That's going to be Thursday. Yeah. So that evening is a cookout or a cook-in at the fairgrounds in Hartner, and that's when all of the people are there. The vendors, the parents, the exhibitors, the contestants, the show contestants also. So we'll be giving you more facts on that one. The fair runs completely through the weekend, and then it is consummated with a rodeo. This time with people that make money doing that sort of thing, or quite a bit of it, I guess. So this morning we are here in beautiful Alva, Oklahoma. Now yesterday we were mowing on the property where the antenna field here is, and it was nice. It was 103 here in Alva. What am I trying to say? The digital sign said 105, so you can have it either way. I had an insurance problem or question, and I was to call this number, and I did. And so the lady we're making small talk, like you do, because the insurance people want you to know that they're people too, and they have lives and puppies and stuff. So the girl, Jennifer, said, so how is it in Oklahoma? I said, well, it's 103 or 105, depending which sign you want to believe. How are you doing? At that point, I didn't know where she was. I just called an 800 number. She said, well, I'm in Phoenix, and it's 118. And I went, well, probably getting sympathy from you is not probably going to happen. So this morning, we are here at our beautiful studio on the east edge of town. It's the Rose and Ben Show, and here's the lady who makes it all work. Ladies and gentlemen, working without a net, here's Rosie.
Okay, Benny, it's a great day to be alive. And we've got the museum is close to my heart. And so we brought Beth Smith today to talk about our museum because people are looking for things to do in the summer, and our conditioner really is working, is it not, Beth?
Oh, it's working.
Okay, yeah, I want to brag about our museum a little bit. I can remember when I went on many years ago, we didn't have hardly anybody visit, but we're just thrilled to death now. Can you give us any kind of indication, Beth, of what our visitors are now, maybe a month?
Oh, in a month, we've run probably between 50 and 100 visitors.
That's spectacular. Can you give us an idea where all they come from?
Oh, they come from all over the United States, even at the center of the ocean.
Yes, we had some people come that they'd been out on the boat.
That's right. They lived on a boat for 6 months, and they considered that their mailing address.
Okay, well, we're very proud of what's happening. And Beth, where would you like to start to tell us about our museum?
Well, If you're looking for a cool place to hang out for a couple of hours, think about the Cherokee Strip Museum. And if you haven't seen the natural collection from Hartner of animals and birds and bugs and butterflies that Bill and Janet Smith had in Hartner, it's a wonderful gift that they've given to the museum and a great addition to our collection. The Alva Museum was started in 1976 with a gift from the Share Trust. They bought the old hospital and gave it to a group of people, to Mrs. N.J. Strasbaugh, to Mrs. Ori Sweatfigger, to Mrs. Sheldon Sherman, to Jean Filson, to Miriam Simon, Peggy Smith, Mrs. Roy Dixon, Mrs. Lottie Wilson, and Mrs. Dale Brunstetter.
Okay, these ladies you named were on a board?
No, these were the ladies that started the museum. The building had sat vacant for several years, and so it was in bad shape. They took their little brooms and mops and cleaned that place up. They planted plants and trees, and they had, of course, had other help from some men, I'm sure, that helped get the building ready for the museum.
So basically, they're the ones that said, "Hey, let's go ahead and make this into a museum."
To start with, yes. Them and other good friends. Through the years, we've been fortunate to have friends to come and help with the museum. You'd be surprised how many guests we have come through the doors. Sometimes it's 80 or even over 100 a month. They come from everywhere, even the middle of the ocean. We have lots of local history to show and tell about. Also, giving school tours and classes in our little schoolhouse, along with the Night of the Museum history programs, and wonderful local actors who tell their stories.
Okay. We have some very nice exhibits also.
The accessions that you're going to see when you come visit us at the museum are things that local people, our local and the surrounding communities, have given us. We have things that go back to 1893, when the territory was open for settlement. If you drive by the museum and you see the wagons out in front, just imagine moving a great distance in a wagon like that. All of the wagons that you see have made the run.
Yes, I didn't realize that until one day I climbed in the back of our covered wagon. There's no place in there for anything.
You couldn't bring very many things with you if you were moving this way. Other things that you're going to see when you come to the museum are the POW room. We had a prisoner of war camp here in Alva back in the 1940s. We have uniforms and memorabilia from the Spanish-American War right up until now.
Can you tell? We have a video out there also. Kenny Cole is giving. It's a very interesting video.
He tells about when he was a kid and he would go to help distribute food to the prison camp. They would try to bribe him to give them more than what he had brought them. He said he was scared to death of those people.
I doubt that. Okay, I kind of call that our crown jewel, that POW room.
It is our crown jewel. And Elaine Grable has given a very nice talk and display on TV about our prisoner of war camp. You'd be surprised how many people come and tell us that's why they came to see this museum. We also have the first fire truck that fought the fire on the castle when the Castle of the Hill burned in 1935. We have a chuck wagon that followed the cattle drives from Texas to Kansas. We have murals that have been painted by a local artist, Warren Little.
Okay. Do you have anything, Benny?
I have tons, absolutely tons. Thanks for joining us this morning, everybody, on Rose and Ben. We do Rose and Ben from 11 to noon every Thursday. And if you wonder about the history of it, well, quickly, Rose and I met at the museum that they're talking about. She had a show that she'll tell you about probably along the way here. And I got to represent my very best friend, Judge Dean Linder. May God rest his soul. And it was a great honor for me. But that's how I met Rose. You would think, I mean, as long as she and I have been on the planet, and she's actually, her museum is in a place that I used to live. It was referred to as the old hospital when it was my home. You would think we would have known each other, but we know probably everybody we could possibly know without knowing each other. So when we met and started talking about this, I said, well, Rose, a morning show in Radio Land usually starts at 6 a.m. Some of them start at 5. And if you're in TV, then you get to the powder room, the makeup room at 3. The ladies do have their hair done before they go on first thing in the morning. Rose said, I'm not up. I'm not up for that at all. In fact, I didn't know at the time that Rose is up active at the Wellness Center. I mean, you're up and working out at about what time?
Used to be 6. I've slipped a little bit to 7.
Well, after the bike wreck and all, you've had to put it back together.
Yeah, they kind of had to pick me up off the.
So Rose is in the swimming pool up there every morning. I'm told. I'm not going to go check.
It's true.
Way too early.
It's a true story. For 20 years and over.
So I'm saying, Rosie, we don't want to do a morning show. 6 to 9, that's crazy, and they go Monday through Friday. No. So what we decided on was the latest and most mature morning show in the free world. So this is our morning show once a week, 11 to noon, right here in the studio, right across from the Monument Place where you can find us easily. And we'd love to have you on with us. Arden Chafee was going to come out this morning, Rose, one of your favorites.
Yes.
But Nikki reminded him that he needed to check his schedule because he has a dentist appointment this morning, so he's not going to be here.
Well, this should sure beat a dentist appointment.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But I think Councilman Joe Parsons is going to drop by. On the 23rd, Rosie, we're going to take the show on the road for a couple of weeks. On the 23rd, we'll go down to the new what's it called? Senior Citizens Nutrition Center? Is that what it's called?
That's exactly right.
Wow, I got it right. Okay. We're going to go down there and talk with Edith and the folks down there about this brand new place. It's a beautiful place. Have you been there?
I have, and it is. It's very, very nice.
And then on the 30th, we're going to trailer the show to Winoka, and we'll be broadcasting Rose and Ben live at the station. The station is a restaurant inside not the depot, but the Harvey House. It's a wonderful experience. If you come visit us on the show and have a bite to eat there at the station, then go upstairs to the museum that the Oklahoma Historical Society has put together. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have, and I've also eaten at that restaurant, and it is very, very good.
It is. It is, in fact. And we've been invited, Rose, to do the show on the dunes at the Little Sahara State Park with the cooperation of America's Oasis. So, Rosie, it was 103 yesterday. It'll be 130 on the sand. You know, the sand reflects light. It's just like a mirror. So we got to work on this.
What would we be doing on the dunes?
Well, you would just be sitting there in your two-piece bikini, and I would be then announcing in my Speedo.
Would we be riding around in our four-wheelers?
We can. You got to be careful where you sit in your two-piece because that plastic seat is going to be a little startling right at first.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll try to get toughened up.
Well, you're kind of an old hand. I have pictures. You sent me pictures of you on the dunes.
Yes, and it was very, very nice, but it wasn't hot.
Well, that's the difference between doing it in the winter and the summer, I think.
Oh, but my side-by-side has air conditioning.
Are you kidding?
No.
When you guys were talking about chuck wagons, I was the parade marshal one time. I think that's what it's called for the parade in Stockyard City in Oklahoma City, and they were gathering up for the parade. So it hadn't started yet. We're in the gathering thing. So down here are some chuck wagons, and I can't remember where they came from, but it's where they build them in Oklahoma. Maybe Stratford. Anyway, I went down to talk to those people. The chuck wagons were air conditioned.
That's great.
It is.
That's my kind of chuck wagon.
Yeah, I promise. Man, they look like they're 200 years old, but running that fresh air.
Did you happen to look in and see how small a space is back there?
As a matter of fact, when you put an air conditioner in those babies, it gets real small.
Oh, my goodness. I just don't know how they came and rode in a chuck wagon all those miles.
You know, our homestead was at Fair Valley, and I have, since I was a little kid, been down in the valley where the house was and look up at the hill that they would have come over, sat on top of the hill and looked down into this valley in a chuck wagon. I don't think you could get one up there now.
I know what you mean.
That's some tough go. And I asked, I didn't have a phone to ask at the time, but I asked somebody that kind of knew. And in a good full summer day, his people came from Missouri, and on a good full summer day, they could do from 11 to 13 miles
A day?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I can't hardly. How about the horses?
How about the horses? How about the horses?
How about the oxen?
Yeah, and the chickens and the little kids and come on, let's go. We're only doing 11 miles today. Come on, get the chickens. Let's go.
Well, my mother was just 1 year old. My relatives migrated from Germany to Russia, and then from Russia they went into Kansas. There was a big settlement of them up around Marion, Kansas. And they came in a covered wagon from Marion, Kansas to Shattuck, Oklahoma. And maybe I told this before. I said to my mother, why would anybody leave Marion, Kansas and go to Shattuck, Oklahoma? And she said, free land.
And why would anybody leave anywhere and go to Kansas?
Well, they were on the Volga River over there. And you know, I forgot to ask my grandma a lot of questions. Isn't that dumb?
Yeah, we need to do that because, you know, that show ends.
Yes, that's right. 100 times.
So you're listening to Rose and Ben, the Radio Rodeo Roundup, and we're going to pause to try to keep the lights on here in our beautiful studio. We'll be right back with our guest and more today on Rose and Ben.
You're listening to Rose and Ben on KALV.
Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center is proud to offer comprehensive care solutions for those who matter most. From rehabilitation and palliative care to skilled nursing and long-term care, Beatles is committed to providing comfort, dignity, and peace of mind. Now, with a second location, the Beatles family continues its long-standing tradition of excellence, serving the people of Northwest Oklahoma with the same compassion and dedication they've been known for. Come by and see them at 720 North Share Boulevard in Alva. Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center, your care, your comfort, your community.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
It's Rose and Ben on the Radio Rodeo Roundup. Has nothing to do with rodeo, but will next week. We're going to have a rodeo guy on with us talking about rodeo. And he'll also be talking about a new business here in Alva, or a business that's been reconditioned. I'm not really sure. We'll ask the questions. Ben and Rose here. Rosie has a very prominent guest with us this morning. I want to say one thing before I give it back to you. We want to say a big thank you out to Jackass Ridge and the people in the ranch out there. Rosie's daughter had seen some pictures of us doing the show and noticed that the microphone that we held clashes with Rosie's outfit. So she has provided us a dual microphones that are custom colored to go with Rosie's outfit, and we're on them this morning, and we want to thank beautiful Katie. Isn't this wonderful?
You bet. This microphone's it matches my outfit perfectly. They're on their way to Reno, Nevada. No, yes. So I don't know if they heard that, and you know what? She sent me a picture of a killdeer. You know what a killdeer is? Those little birds. They're really dumb. It laid its eggs out in the middle of a rock, right on the ground. I don't know how we got on. Okay. There's one thing about Benny and me. Our middle name is Sidetrack. So with that, we're going to go back to Beth.
Well, Sidetrack is right. They got me off of what I was trying to tell you about the museum. But please listen, because we do have some wonderful things there for you to see. We have guns and clothes from years past, and pictures and stories of Alva as she's grown up. We also have a little church for destination weddings with beautiful dressing rooms for the brides and the grooms. We have party rooms for big and small parties, like birthdays or receptions or showers or family reunions.
I want to interrupt. Let's go back to the church. Our little church holds about 80, and we have some beautiful dressing rooms for the bride and the groom, and they are each located right near the church. Can you elaborate a little on those?
Well, we want to make it as convenient as possible for all of our guests. No matter if you're having a wedding or a party, we try to have everything that you're going to need right there. We have punch bowls and cake knives and tablecloths, and everything that you would need for a reception. The reception room is large enough for about 80 people, and also the little church. We could crowd a few more in, maybe. We've had several weddings at the little church. This last month, we've had 2 weddings. One of them was held on the north side of the old barn. It was an outdoor wedding, and everything looked beautiful. Took a lot of mowing and trimming, but we got it done.
And also the good thing about our venue is it's not nearly as expensive.
No, we work with the brides as much as we can to make it a good place for them to come and have their special day. Remember, we're on the hill west of town by the Big Buffalo at 901 14th Street. Come see us or give us a call at 580-327-2030, and we hope to see you down the road.
Okay, but I want to go back and talk about the Nancy Dinner Room. Nancy Dinner is a hometown girl from here. Her daddy was named Joe Dinner, and he ran the Golden Crust Bakery. And at one time, we had a Golden Crust Bakery here that a lot of they had routes everywhere. Well, Nancy decided to enter, and she became Miss Oklahoma. I'm going to let Beth tell us about that.
Well, Nancy's dad said Alva needed a queen.
Oh, okay.
And so Nancy Dinner was Miss Alva. She entered the Miss Oklahoma contest and won. She was Miss Oklahoma. She entered Miss America, and Alva should be very proud of her. She was second runner-up to Miss America. We have her pictures and her crown that she received when she was Miss Oklahoma. But the crown is a replica. She was telling us that she sold her crown at a garage sale. And I said, "Oh, Nancy, why did you do that?" She said, "Honey, I had babies to feed."
Well, we have an entire room. She donated all of the things that she had from her reign. And tell us about that room.
It's a beautiful room. Nancy and her husband financed the room for the museum. It is a complete renovation of the room. We have one of her dresses, we have her swimming suit, and we have many of her trophies and pictures of Bert Parks. When she was asked what her daddy did, she said, "My daddy bakes bread, the best bread in Oklahoma."
Oh yes, that was. I can remember watching that on TV, and how exciting that was. Beth, I want to go back to the new acquisition. Can you just name a few of the things? I know you can't. That we acquired from Hartner. That it's. I would like to say that the kids really like this. If you have children that you're looking for someplace to go an afternoon, the kids really enjoy all of these animals.
We do have a nice collection. We have a collection of birds that we had to have special permission to hang because they're protected birds. But we have one room full of birds of all kinds, mainly ducks and geese, but we have songbirds, we have butterflies, quite a collection of butterflies. When we received this collection, I understood that they had the largest collection in the world of moths. And so that collection was given to Northwestern for their museum. We have fish, we have taxidermied animals,
Bear.
we have a bear, we have a cougar, we have bobcats, we have fox, raccoons, elk, deer, many, many animals, even mice and rats.
It's a very nice collection, and your children and you would certainly enjoy it, and it would be worth your time to come up and look at it right close by.
Rosie,
Yes.
you used to be a cougar.
What do you mean used to be?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I have a question. Two questions actually. The little school that can be used. You can give me the lowdown on that for meetings and stuff.
Yes, we hold class in our little school in the spring for 5th grade students. We weren't able to do it this year, but in years past we have done it. The children come dressed in period clothing, They bring a lunch, and it can't be from McDonald's. It has to be a lunch as it would have been at that time.
And I ride my horse up, and we have music.
Rose teaches them how to dance.
Are you talking about schoolhouse or church?
Did you say you ride your horse up?
Yeah, I tell them my horse is parked outside. That's the way the old music teacher did. They only had music ever so often, and the lady would go from country school to country school. That's the only music that they would have. And there was a lady at Hartner that did that at one time early, but then she came into Hartner. But they would go from school to school for music.
You have just solved something for me that I've thought about off and on. You know, my mama taught school really all of her life. She got a temporary certificate when she was 15. You could teach, I think, the first couple of grades if you were studying to be a teacher. If in one of these little rural schools that they built the things, I'm told, every 6 miles because no youngsters should have to walk more than 3 miles one way to school. So there were one-room schoolhouses all over, and my mom would refer from time to time. Well, that lady was the music teacher, so I didn't know her all that well. I thought, what is that? Are they hard to get to know? What's that kind of? I think you've helped me with a mystery here.
Oh man, I'm glad to know that I taught you something.
Yeah, and the music teacher only came occasionally, so you wouldn't really get to know her. She'd come in and teach her hour in the class, and as you say, get on her horse and go to the next school. And if the next school is 6 miles away, you can do a couple or three in a day, I'd think.
I think so, but that was the way it was. I don't know how they did for programs, but I bet they worked it out.
You know, that's a quiz right there. I have a question for our guests, and I want to swing away from where we're talking, but I've wondered about this. The corner of the facility out front, there's a iron statue thing. What's the deal on that?
Well, the iron statue are 2 buffalo. They were put there to advertise where our museum is. They're put there in memory of my husband, Wes Smith. We call the buffalo that's standing Big W, and the one that's laying down is Little B. That's for me. The 2 coyotes that you see on the side, we didn't name them after my children. We named them, I can't think of their names right now.
It'll come to you.
Yeah, they're cute.
Who did it?
They were made in Clayton, New Mexico. And we went to Clayton and picked them up, brought them home, put them in a parade around the square, and then we put them in a permanent place at the museum.
Oh, that was a great question.
It's a beautiful thing, and it caused me to stop, and walk over and look at things. It's very, very intricate. There's some really, whoever did that is pretty good at what they do.
Are those cactus real?
Oh, yes, they're real.
They really are?
Yes, they really are. They came from right here in Alva. I drove by a fellow's house. He had a bunch of cactus in his yard, so I stopped and asked if I could have some, and he gave them to me. It only cost me a pie.
Those cactus are beautiful. They don't have a blemish on them. And I thought, wonder where Beth got those plastic.
Well, the guys that mow the yard are beginning to complain about the cactus because they're growing out over the wall, and they have to drive around them to mow.
Oh my goodness! Well, let them mow. Let them gripe.
We're going to pause to try to pay the electric bill and a couple of other things. And when we come back, the amazing but very humble Joe Parsons is with us today. Thank our guest. What a great. I've learned some more stuff.
Yes, Beth is I don't know what we're going to do if she ever decides to retire. She just can't. She knows a lot of things about our museum and is willing to share. Do you have anything else to tell us that we haven't talked about?
Well, we're always looking for good help at the museum. Now, there's several of us, I won't name all of us that have turned 90, but there's several of us that are maybe aging a little bit, and we're walking a little slower, but we sure could use some young help.
Yes, if anybody wants to partake, we do have some good volunteers now, but we can always use more. Give us a call at the museum.
Thank you, ladies. We'll be back with more Rose and Ben. Joe Parsons is in the house. He's in makeup right now. We'll be back right after this word.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV. Let's talk about your future. Are you looking for a career change or possibly training in computers, health careers, automotive, cosmetology, digital design, electrical trades, welding, or biomedical sciences? At Northwest Technology Center, we offer these programs for adults, high school, and homeschool students from Alene Clio, Alva, Canton, Cherokee, Fairview, Freedom, Ringwood, and Winoka. Call to enroll today at 580-327-0344 in Alva or 580-227-3708 in Fairview. Northwest Technology Center is preparing students for success in education, careers, and life. This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
It's Ben and Rose. It's the Ben and Rose Show on the Rodeo Roundup. And next week we'll have a rodeo person on, actually. Mr. Adler will join us and some other cool people. Speaking of cool people, we live streamed the parade the other day, and I'm out in the street with the roving microphone, and I'm interviewing the floats. And Rose was in the parade. Rose and the vet was in the parade, all decked out. And here came a boat up the street. And I look in the boat, and Joe Parsons is, Joe, tell me about the boat.
Well, it is I call it the Boatmobile. It's a 2004 Isuzu vehicle that has had a 1995 Bayliner attached to it. It is a one-of-a-kind artistic creation of sorts. It is street legal. And it's a good time to drive. I can't take credit for building it. I bought it from a guy up in Hutchinson, Kansas, and I would say a word to describe this man was eccentric. He builds everything from boat cars to limousines that have the roof cut off and patio furniture in the back. That's what he's currently working on. It was quite a vehicle, and when I saw it on Facebook, I said, I think that needs to come to Alva, Oklahoma.
I agree with you. And it's not junk. I mean, it's pretty.
It's definitely, I don't know if I would use the word pretty to describe it, but it's one of a kind for sure.
Are we going to have it in the Christmas parade?
Anyone who knows my family and is familiar with the Alva Christmas parade knows that we go all out. Every year, we have something very unique in it, whether it's a giant pig covered in Christmas lights, or last year it was a 1984 Cadillac limo covered in Christmas lights. And the boat will be covered in Christmas lights. It will be in the parade. And I will tell you, if you've never covered a vehicle in Christmas lights, whenever it's about 22 degrees outside, it's not the most pleasant thing. So I am going to give a shout out to my amazing brother, Max Parsons, who's probably down at 818 Diner right now, serving great hamburgers, chicken fried steaks, and homemade pie. He definitely puts the time in to make these floats look amazing that we put in the parades. And then I just get to ride in them and take credit for all his hard work.
His thing that I'm so happy with him about right now is the ice cream. I love that deal.
Yes, you can't beat homemade ice cream. We do have a rotation of flavors of ice cream that is homemade. It's made in-house, and I personally think the cookies and cream is the best. We've been working on some sorbets for this hot weather. Definitely go by and try it. In fact, if you're listening to the Ben and Rose Show, tell them that you heard about the homemade ice cream on the Ben and Rose Show, and we'll give you $1 off a scoop of ice cream.
Okay, so I'm in Albuquerque today, and I'm listening to Rose and Ben on KOVradio.com. And so I'm going to drive to, I guess it'll have to be tomorrow, Joe, because to knock a buck off, it's going to take me a day to drive from Albuquerque. But you'll honor it tomorrow even?
I'll tell you what, I'll honor it. One per person. Doesn't mean you can come get 10 ice creams for $1 off. I'll honor it until the end of July.
Wow. Okay, we may have to go back over that plowed ground again. You know, the big deal in radio is repeat, repeat, repeat.
I want to go back to the homemade ice cream. You mean it's made with the crank and it's homemade out of your kitchen?
Yes, it is homemade out of our kitchen. Now, I will tell you, we have a piece of equipment that does make it a little bit easier. It's our ice cream machine is an incredible piece of equipment made in Florida by the great folks at Emery Thompson Ice Cream Machines. They are the longest running ice cream machine manufacturer probably in the world, that's still owned by the same family that started the business back in the early 1900s. So it is we use a giant piece of machinery to make this ice cream.
And in talking to Max, I said, well, what flavors do you do? And he gave me a list of flavors, and he said, but I can do any flavor. You tell me what you want. It may take a day or two, but we'll create it, and we'll have it for you. I think I agree with you. The cookies and cream is just, it is outstanding. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about because Joe Parsons does a bunch of stuff. So you just drove in from Windy Ford. I want to thank them. Thank you, guys, at Windy Ford. You guys headed up the parade with some vehicles.
Yes, I will tell you, when I took the job at Windy Ford, the reason I took it was because their commitment to the community. Anybody who knows me knows that I love to be involved in the community, and I'll never forget the conversation that I had with LT about if I need to run an errand and do something that benefits the community, am I going to be able to do that? Whether that's, city council or different boards that I'm on or nonprofits I'm involved with. And LT said, anything that you are doing to benefit Alva also benefits us because we are Alva. And that really stuck with me. And, honestly, that's the reason I took the job, is just the commitment to community out at Windy Ford. We're proud to be your hometown dealer. I'm proud to be your hometown car guy. If you ever need a vehicle, know somebody who needs a vehicle. Right now, we're running a special promotion where we are paying double on referrals. So if you know somebody who's talking about buying a car, call me, 580-748-2640, or text me. And if they buy, I'll get you a check for $200.
That's what I was going to ask. What do you mean you're paying double on referrals?
So our referral program at Windy Ford is all the time. If you send us a customer that buys a vehicle, we'll give you a $100 check. For the next 2 weeks, though, we are running double that. So if you send a customer that buys, we're going to give you $200 instead of $100.
And I recall just recently, where were we? When we were at Holders, they were talking about something that Windy Ford was doing, giving back to the community. I don't remember the specific thing.
Yeah, something we were able to do out there that was absolutely incredible was the test drives for Blakely McCamey. During that time, we donated $20 per test drive and $200 per car sold to her family to help them with travel expenses and expenses that they're going through. I should have got the exact number. I believe it was over $3,000 though that Windy Ford was able to donate, and we were absolutely happy to do that. And anything we can do to help take care of our community, we want to do.
So Joe, switch gears here just quickly. I always say this when we're getting ready to do an interview or a forum or a debate or whatever. I always say, I don't know why anybody would want to be a mayor, a county commissioner, or a city councilman. There's never enough money. There's always too much to do, and everybody wants their deal done, their street taken care of, so on and so forth. But you have carved out a place in the city council chambers, and I see you smiling going in and out of there. So it must not be too much drudgery.
Well, it's definitely a lot of work, and so much goes into any elected position that the public doesn't necessarily get to see firsthand. You know, what led me to run for council is there's this quote that I absolutely love and I try to live by, and it's be the change in the world you want to see. I think that there's way too many people that would rather complain than get to work. I will say there was a wonderful article about working for your community that Megan Lear down at the Chamber wrote. If you haven't read this week's Chamber newsletter, I encourage you to read it. Yeah, there's a section that's called Someone Ought to Do It. And she just talked about how people love to talk about things people ought to do, but when it's time to step up and volunteer and actually get things done, sometimes it's hard to find the people.
You know, we do a thing in Oklahoma City that we started 11 years ago, and it's a volunteer thing. And we go into a recreational area of a big church down there, and we equip it for what we're going to do that night. And then we have a potluck and a speaker, an out-of-town speaker kind of a thing. And we do it all with volunteers. We have so many people to set the thing up. You can't hardly count them. It's real easy to count because we have to tear it down after we're done, and stacking chairs close to midnight is. Apparently, there's only so many people that are able to do that because the numbers are very small.
Yes, I can imagine. That's anything that's has volunteers. And now I know this conversation may seem a little bit negative. I will say I think Alva's the greatest place on earth. And I think our people and our groups that we have here are doing things that other communities definitely envy and that they wish they could do. So we're doing amazing now, but amazing things are happening. There's so many great people and great volunteer groups that work hard to make our community a better place. But at the same time, I'm a believer of continuous improvement and always striving to be better than I was yesterday.
I went up to a meeting last week, Joe, at Medicine Lodge, where they are getting to the final part of their. Are we going to accept a large data center or data, however you wish to say it, or are we going to reject it? And that's really kind of taken place in about every community. And I've asked several places here in Alva, different. For instance, we had a county commissioner's race in District whatever Winoka is, 3, I think. And the commissioner, the acting commissioner, and got reelected, John Smiley. I suspect he got reelected because he's done a good job. But I asked him, have you heard? He said, I hear it just like everybody else does. Everybody says, well, I heard. But nobody has talked to me about a data center. This is the commissioner talking. Have you heard any rumblings?
So thankfully, as a council member, the data center conversation is not really something that we even have. There's not place in city limits that I think they could even construct a data center, and anything that goes on outside of city limits is not really our jurisdiction to say. So I don't think we'll ever see a data center in Alva city limits. But at the same time, Alva and Woods County is open for business. Maybe the data center is not a perfect fit, but Alva is open for business. And if people want to put a business here, whether it's a local person or outside entity, that's one thing that we are always working on is recruiting more business, because as a lot of people do not know, cities in Oklahoma live and die by sales tax, and sales tax is extremely important for everything we do, whether it be streets, public safety, parks and rec, our hospital. All those things are funded by sales tax. A majority of those things are funded 100% by sales tax. And so that's why it is so important to recruit local retail business, and also so important to spend money in Alva. I encourage everybody, if it's, 5-10% more, to buy something in Alva, pay a little bit extra, support those people that are supporting the community. We want to have our pool. We want to have our rec center. There's so many things we wouldn't have if it wasn't for sales tax. In fact, our city wouldn't be able to operate. We wouldn't have a police department. We wouldn't have a fire department. We wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for sales tax and people spending money in Alva.
And what's going on in the world and in that area, this area of the world determines feast or famine. And one of the great things that Alva has going for it is it's so diversified. Give you an example of the other side of that. In the oil boom, Woodward was just, it was wonderful. They just couldn't add on quickly enough. And then when the bust came, 425 houses went up for sale within about the first month, and that's a big number. Oklahoma City, a couple of times, has had a boom and a bust, and oh my Lord. The big boom in the 80s, now this is ancient history, but they made Oklahoma City a landmass, the second biggest city in the United States, by annexing and so on. And then the bust came, so you've got jillions of miles of streets, but nobody to drive on the streets or houses beside them. So it's a boom and bust thing for a lot of cities. Alva, not so much, because we're very diversified.
Yes, I will tell you that Alva, you're right. That's a good way to put it. And I just want to talk about the last 3 to 4 years in Alva and how happy I have to see the things that we have had going on. Swimming pool, wonderful. Every time I drive by, it's packed full of kids. It's a great thing for the quality of life for our residents. The arena, can't thank the people who have put that together. That was, an over 10-year ordeal. And I think we're going to really start reaping the benefits of that soon if we haven't started yet. The other thing is new businesses in Alva. If you drive around the downtown square, the vacancy you see now is a lot better than the vacancy you see 3 years ago. And there's people who are wanting to put businesses in that are looking for locations actively. Alva Beer Co. on the corner up, great food, great drinks, great environment, and they bring in incredible live music. You got Nightlight outside of town that's bringing in big names: Eli Young, Waka Flocka, William Clark Green. These are things, as someone who's been in Alva all their life, growing up in Alva, if you would have told me 10 years ago that we would have these things going on in Alva, America, I would have told you were crazy. So whenever somebody does do something big, when somebody does make a huge investment and open a business here in our community and gives us something to do, additional places to eat, it's incredibly important that we support those people. I will tell you, I've coined the name for Alva as the live music capital of Northwest Oklahoma, because there is nowhere in Northwest Oklahoma, not Woodward, not Enid, not anywhere, that has the live music that we're getting.
That's a fact, and this is not the garage band that Ben put together so that somebody'd have some live music. We've got some quality acts coming in.
We absolutely do have some quality acts. I mean, it's incredible. I know the mayor of Enid was frustrated with the fact that Alva can get some incredible shows, and they're having a hard time. I'd heard about a council meeting that he was at, and he really was not pleased that they can't figure out how to get shows. But yeah, Alva's getting all these great musical shows.
Aren't we very lucky to have a movie theater?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know that's another thing in Enid that they've struggled with. They can't get a movie theater. Alva, no, they don't have a movie theater. They're very lucky. Now, talking on music, I did want to bring this up. Whenever you guys were talking about the one-room schoolhouse there at the museum, that was actually, I believe, the first time I was blessed to meet Rose Blanc that I can remember. I was a kindergartner at the one-room schoolhouse, and I had my 1920s outfit, and I believe she came and did music, And I still remember one of the songs. I want to say it was, I may butcher this, but it was something like the Old Great Mare, maybe, was one of the the old gray. Yep, the Old Gray Mare. That was the song that I still remember that her teaching.
Yes, that was one of them. I always try to teach America. You'd be surprised how many kids don't know America.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, I sure appreciate you guys having me on here and giving me the chance to talk about what I love. Absolutely the best, Alva America. And, I say any day that I get to wake up and put a Hawaiian shirt on and be in Alva, Oklahoma is a great day.
So, Joe, you said that there's a saying that resonates with you, and then you gave us the quote. So I'll ask you to do it again, and then pass the microphone over to the beautiful Rosie, because Joe, on this show, so many shows just give you talk. Rosie gives a tip to live by. And you can almost hear people laying the dishes down that they're washing, or pull to the side of the road and get their pen out, because it's time for Rosie to give her gem. So what was your saying that you love so much? And then pass it over to the beautiful Rose.
My saying is, be the change in the world that you wish to see.
Okay, this is a short one. It's life has no rehearsals, only performances.
Yeah. I saw a little sign, you know how they do on churches, and it says, "This is not your practice life." Right? Thanks for joining us, Joe.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm going to do one more plug for the wonderful Wendy Ford. Come by and see us. We have over $4,000 in rebates available on most models of vehicles, and also 0% financing on select vehicles. So come by and see me at Wendy Ford, or give me a call, 580-748-2640.
And with that, we now return you to what we laughingly refer to as regular programming.